G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game, and this one is a little bit different. We are on the brand new patch, and as you guys will be aware, even though I didn't actually cover the patch on the channel, a lot of you guys will have seen that the patch has come out. The reason why I didn't cover it, because there weren't a lot of big changes that really affected me, but one of the things that I failed to neglect to consider was there have been changes to the size of team game maps. Take a look how close we've got our two southern players spawning next to each other. Over on the north side, look at that. Look how close they are. Isn't this absolutely awesome? It is great to see. Now, why would that even be a relevant factor? Why would that be important? Well, you would have noticed if you've ever played team games in Age of Empires 4, they seem to get, I wouldn't necessarily say stale, but walls do come very, very hard and very fast. Let's just put it that way to say it nicely, all right? There are a lot of walls, and with people spawning closer to each other, it means that you're going to have a little bit more vicious game. You know, there's going to be less opportunity to wall, more opportunity to be actually fighting. And you can see how close these guys are. It is ridiculously close. They are very, very close to each other, and I love it. I think it's so great. So without further ado, let us introduce our players today for you. Spawning up on the north side of the map, playing as the Green Roos, it is going to be Happy Cat. He's ally, playing as the Yellow Chinese. It is Neptune, someone we have featured very often on this channel. On the other side of the map, in the blue, we've got our other Chinese player who's also got a Chinese name, which I am not going to butcher. And, of course, his teammate over towards the west side. It is going to be Yui Metal, who is on the Delhi Sultanate. So, nice little interesting matchup for us today. We've got the Delhi and the Chinese versus the Rus and the Chinese. So, a little bit of difference, a little bit of an interesting opening. Obviously, the Rus is going to be the highlight here, so we'll take a look at his perspective and see exactly what he's up to. He's up to 120 bounty at the moment, and that's going to continue to improve for the rest of the game, because obviously there are double the hunts, there's double the wolves, there's double all of those good things. I think there's also double the boar as well, so we've got one boar over on this sacred site, one boar over here. Actually, are there only two boar? Oh, there you go, there's only two boar. Interestingly, there is not the small deer hunts. I think that's like an Altai exclusive thing. You guys would have seen on the most recent video that we did that the Altai deer hunts, the way that they spawn is a little bit weird. Well, it's not going to be the case here. So what happens essentially, they take you'll have one main hunt, a big one like this, and then you'll have two smaller hunts that have got 3 deer in each. And that's obviously a nerf to the Rus because it's 1 less deer per hunt or per second hunt on the map. So it means 2 less deer. So a reduction of potential bounty that you can get by 20. A little bit of a mistake coming in here from Happy Cat. It looks like he may have forgotten to bring all those sheep in. You can see he's got a couple trailing out towards his position. But we'll check in with Neptune. We'll see how Neptune's going. Double. Look at what Neptune has got going on. Hold on a minute, Neptune. What do you got going on here? Double Imperial Official. We're at 3 minutes already. You got 5 villages over here on gold. Damn, that is a lot of villagers on gold. He would have to be going for a double dynasty. You would be thinking, or a double landmark into that Song dynasty. Technically, it is a double dynasty when you think about it, because Tang dynasty and then Song dynasty being the second dynasty, double dynasty. There you go. I'm gonna start using that. 2 villagers moving out. It's gonna be a Barbican coming down. Now, obviously, we've got China on the other side as well. It's not gonna be this guy. That's Yui Metal. It is going to be this guy down here. So just going to be opening up with the Imperial Academy, rather. 1 villager tapping away at that one. He'll be looking to go into a dynasty himself. And I'm curious to see what the team game meta is going to be like, because I'll be honest with you guys, now that team game map sizes are actually reasonable and they're not just stupidly large like they were before, I'm actually probably going to be starting to play team games. I remember, you know, I was talking about this quite a bit, in that in Age of Empires 3, I loved team games. Team games were my thing. It was very rare that I played 1 versus 1. Now, obviously, that was because I had really good teammates. You know, teammates that I loved to play with, teammates that were my best friends, teammates that, as many of you guys will know, I became lifelong friends with. I went to one of their weddings, and I continue to be a great friend of him, despite meeting them back in, like, what was it, 2007? I think it was when we first started playing together, and yeah, ever since we've been great teammates. But that's obviously a big part of it. But another big part was smaller map sizes were a big thing for Age of Empires 3. Also, forward bases meant that you were very capable of reducing that map size even further. Whereas in Age of Empires 4, it doesn't really feel like forward bases are a thing, just because you've got a lot of landmarks that are going to be acting as military production buildings. It's a bit risky to be building them out in the middle of the map. It takes a bit longer. And so you don't really see that kind of thing coming down forward bases as much. I feel like forward bases definitely get punished a fair bit. So we'll have to wait and see whether we see any forward bases coming down. Of course, not going to be the case at the moment for the Chinese player. Just going to be dropping down the Barbican on the gold. Everything he's got behind this, I would suspect, probably going to be going into chokunu. I suspect the meta in team games is probably going to be very focused around Age 2, with the exception of the Chinese. I think if there is one civilization that is going to be able to avoid Age 2, or at least, you know, move quickly up into Age 3, it's going to be the Chinese, just simply because of the nest of bees, and the fact that they don't actually have to wait to make the siege shop. Just straight away they get their astronomical clock tower out, and immediately on the defensive you have got siege that you can now use to defend. So I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing, you know, to be honest, I'm curious what you guys would like to see. Would you guys like to be seeing a 2 versus 2 tournament now that we've actually got decent 2 versus 2 that can happen? Because before, it was very different. You know, the maps were bigger. It just wasn't fun, in my opinion. But now it really does feel different. And I'm looking forward to seeing the kind of strategies that we've got coming out, because I definitely think, like, Fast Castle, obviously it's dangerous to be throwing out a potential Fast Castle. But I think if there's a civ that can do it, it's probably the Chinese. Just because if you can get to that single nest of bees and guard it with like a whole bunch of spearmen, it's not going to go down. You don't have to worry about that shit. It just sits there. It's producing. Congratulations, you survive, you thrive, all that beautiful stuff. But let's have a look over on the other side of the map. We'll see how they are going. So we'll check in with our blue Chinese player. He has got the double dynasty down. We might actually just remove this one, so there's a bit more screen real estate available for you guys. So he's going to be walling up around the back of his base. I do like this play. Already thinking about, you know, preventing those raids from coming in. Also, we've got the archery ranger that he looked to put down. You can see he had it on the corner here, but instead deleted it. Unfortunately, the Barbican's going to be blocking anything he tries to put down. So he's just going to be going for archers at this point. You can see it is going to be chokunu, so no real surprise there. Oh, as they are in Age of Empires 4. I should call them by their Age of Empires 4 name. Jugunu. So it's a little bit different. And then over on the Delhi side, we've got Yui Metal over here, and he's just doing Dome of the Faith. So basically your standard 1v1 thing. He's got the double blacksmith. I like his base building though, not the blacksmiths together. You know, they're on one side of the town center each. He's beginning to fortify the sacred site out to the west. Obviously the sacred site in the middle is going to be heavily contested with that Barbican, but I do like the fact that we actually don't see, one of the things that you do often see in 1 versus 1 is players having one safe sacred site each, but it's not the case here in 2v2. You literally have 3 sacred sites that spawn equally across the middle. Not one of them is not closer to an enemy's base, and so I like that. I think that's very, very cool, because it means civilizations like the Delhi are a little bit more open on these maps, because if you put a sacred site in the back here and a sacred site over here, the Delhi player is never touching this sacred site. It's just impossible for them. So it limits them to only 2 sacred sites. And obviously if there's a Barbican on this one in the middle, it makes it very hard to take that. So you're only really sitting on 1 sacred site. But now at least there's that second one that is opened up. So I think that's a great thing for Delhi, because Delhi in team games, not going to be the strongest late game civ, so you would want to pair them up with a Chinese or another strong late game civilization in the event that it gets there. But let's take a look now at Neptune. We'll see how he's doing, and it's going to be the same thing coming out from Neptune. It's going to be the chokunu coming out, or the sorry, I'll try my best not to do it with any sort of Chinese influence. I guess I'll just do like the English, the jugunu. Over on the other side, who do we have? We have got Happy Cat, who is playing as the Rus, and he's already got quite a bit of a mass coming out. You can see those early knights just starting to really build up. He's got 6 of them already, and going to be intent on playing in Age 2. Now, one of the interesting things to note is obviously we've got Double Dynasty coming out. Technically, we've got like a double Dynasty, because both players have gone for Double Dynasty here, both of them entering into Song, but no second town centers for anybody yet at this stage. It's just everyone looking to really play quite militaristically, not really thinking too much about the economy at this stage. And I wonder if that's a team game thing, or exactly why that is, because I feel like in team games it becomes a lot more important for you to be going military, as we continue to see chokunu are going to be pushing up here for Neptune. But I feel like playing if you are investing heavily into your economy, you can get punished for it very, very quickly in a team game, because if you don't have enough units to defend or to help out your teammate, then that is it. In 1v1 it's a little bit different, just because you've got the town center that you can really use as a defensive base, but obviously in 2 versus 2 you've got twice the army that your enemy's got. So if your army is not up to scratch, then your ally is going to be left to 2v1, and they're going to lose their army a lot faster than what they normally would. But units now beginning to push out over for our red player Yui Metal. He's going to be able to find a nice couple of picks here. Gets the first Lancer down. Second Lancer almost going to be going down as well. You can see a lot of these units running some pretty low health at this point. But now all the upgrades are going to be coming in for Yui Metal. Obviously, he's getting all these upgrades for free. He's playing the Delhi. We'll check in on the other side of the map and see how our yellow team is doing. We've got Neptune over here, who's just getting all of the upgrades. Quite literally all of the upgrades. Have a look at this. We've got... actually, we don't have Horticulture coming in yet. We've obviously got Wheelbarrow, Specialized picked. We've got Lumber Preservation. He's yet to add in another Lumber Camp over here. Could definitely do that though, but he is going to be going off shops right now, and we do see our first villagers heading out to Stone for this game. And now the chokunu, together with the early knights, going to be moving up and looking to do some damage towards their opponent. We'll check in with Happy Cat and see what he is running. You can see the upgrades coming through for him as well. Going to be looking to get that iron undermesh in nice, or rather, sorry, fitted leatherwork coming in. And look at this, we got ourselves a nice little early outpost attack, also going to be looking to solidify this point. And this is what I was talking about. You know, let's say as an example here, our Delhi player had gone into a town center. Then it means that he's going to be left to defend with his own town center and his allies' forces, and very easily, you know, he could get cut off from that. So it could be difficult. It could be very difficult if you are not up to scratch. But we'll tune in now with his ally and see how he's doing with a big massive chokunu coming down towards his southern position. No +1 range to armor. Never mind. There it is coming in right now. That is a decent mass. You're talking 33 chokunu up against the 21 of his opponent. A lot of knights out there. But keep in mind, these guys do very well with regard to the damage. Look how much damage comes out onto these early knights. You can see them just absolutely slicing through the armor with the chokunu, and that is what makes them so strong. And a beautiful little flanking maneuver also coming around from behind. We can see that Yui Metal is going to be trying to catch some of these enemy chokunu off guard, and now look at the beautiful micro coming out right now from our blue Chinese player. He is absolutely shredding through. China, a massive powerhouse in these team games, just because of the chokunu in the early stages of the game. Such an effective unit against basically everything. There's quite literally nothing that beats this unit once it gets up in numbers. Once you start hitting around like 40, 50 chokunu, that's it, man. That is it. You got to start thinking about going to Castle Age behind that, because, you know, it's so difficult to deal with it. Obviously, like, once the men-at-arms numbers start to improve a little bit, once the knights come in and they're mixed in with horsemen, then it's going to be okay, but it's very, very difficult to deal with units like this or unit forces. So I think this could really be a very strong team game, Civ. But I'm looking forward to seeing how it continues to unfold as we've got more chokunu looking to battle it out with their opponents. I'm thinking that perhaps one of the reasonable options here could be for China to actually go H3. We talked about this a bit earlier, but instead of looking to go for a nest of bees, which would obviously just completely destroy the chokunu, but it could also just be going for veteran chokunu himself and then getting +2 range attack, +2 range defense. That's going to help out a huge amount against this. But now, continuing to fight, continuing to posture, continuing to try and do some damage. You're going to have to fall back here. You can see Neptune, as well as his teammate, definitely going to be caught in a bit of a tough position. Obviously, that Barbican might be served up next on the menu. We'll do a quick stock take and see where these guys are with regard to their respective economies. So it looks like down towards the south, Yui Metal and his Chinese teammate still yet to add in any second town centers. Up towards the north, you would expect it's going to be the same thing for Happy Cat as well as Neptune. We indeed do not see any second town centers. So everybody going to be working towards just that single town center goal. So a quick villager stock take. We've got 50, 40, 51, and 45. And so very, very even. Everybody around that 40 to 50 mark. And so no real differences between the two. We'll bring up the resources just so you can get a bit of an idea of if anyone is looking to get up to the next age. But I gotta say, I'm loving this new concept, this new team game. It really just changes the dynamic so much. Having people spawn closer together, having smaller maps, because now all of a sudden you're forced to fight in feudal. Before it wasn't the case. Before it was not the case. You could get your walls up, you were absolutely fine. But now it's different, and now it means there's more action, and because there's more action, it's more exciting, and it means that I'm more interested in casting these games. So I want you guys to let me know. Would you be interested in seeing a 2v2 tournament? If so, how do you think the format should be? Would you be interested in seeing more 2v2s on the channel if you're not interested in seeing a tournament? Because I tell you what, I love, as I said before, I love team games. They were my bread and butter. It's only recently that I've sort of transitioned into 1v1. And I found it difficult. As you can see, I'm in Plastic League at the moment, slowly making my way back up. But I tell you what, it is a bit of a struggle. We'll check in over on the other side of the map and see whether we've got any... That is interesting. Farms on the mill outside the walls. But now Sacred Site's going to get taken up over on the west side. Players looking to push in. We see they've just spotted out that town center. Really going to be coming in and do some damage. We'll take a look at Yui Metal and see how he's going. Looking to get the professional scouts behind this. A couple more chokunu going to be coming in. Look at them. Look at the mass here. 60 chokunu coming out. How do you even counter this at this point? I feel like Neptune had to like try and find a Castle Age timing into into Nest of Beasts. And oh my lord, he's got 63 Chokunu. It's a battle of the Chokunu right now as we enter the cinematic mode. He's trying to hold on, but where is his green teammate? All of a sudden, he's trying to do this 2v1, and now the green teammate going to be coming out of the woodwork, and you can see it's going to be Horsemen coming out for him, and definitely the right choice. They're going to be so effective up against these units, but all the spears coming out, beautifully micro right there from Yui Metal. He's looking very, very strong, but keep in mind the Chokunu on the backside just kind of keep on firing off, struggling. A few archers getting thrown in on the mix here as well, and that big archer ball is really what sets it apart, and you can now see the true power of the Chokunu in its final form. But suddenly we see a little bit of a table turning. I feel like now the reinforcements are coming out here. Villagers going to get pulled away from that town center. The town center down to about 80% health, 75% health. Look at the reinforcements coming out non-stop. We've got archery rangers for days, and they keep on coming. We are close right now to Neptune's base. Neptune got to be careful not to lose villagers. You can see one going to be going down, two going to be going down, three going to be going down if he's not careful. Indeed it does. 3 villagers going to be lost there for Neptune. And he's continuing, look at him just empowering, supervising these archery rangers, and oh my lord, he holds. He holds. He actually holds. It was basically a 2v1. Obviously, we did see that his ally Happy Cat came in for a little bit, but he got shut down so quickly. He got slapped away like a black-eyed pea. It was just disgusting. But now Neptune going to be looking to push out. You can see behind this, he is just non-stop pumping out units, doing a great job of it. I think, I tell you what, man, this is exciting stuff to see. And now it looks like Yui Metal going to be dropping down an outpost at the front here, but we've got an age up coming through. It's going to be our Chinese player on the other side, our blue Chinese player. He's going to be looking for an age up here. Got no wood at all, though. He's going to need to get Nest of Bees out. I feel like that's his only potential chance of keeping this game alive. Now, this was something that we talked about a little bit earlier. You know, we mentioned this. We said, well, hold on a minute. You know, what is the potential counter to all these Chokunu? Well, it's got to be Nest of Bees, right? Like, surely. Nest of Bees basically counters everything, right? Right? Well, not so fast. Not so fast. We'll have to wait. We'll have to see. He's got a nice little base built here, though. I got to say, I do like it. He's been very smart with taking care of his space. He's got plenty of space in here to actually drop down more infrastructure. But actually, where are all of his archery rangers? We've only got 3 archery rangers for him. Neptune on the other side is sitting on 5 archery rangers. Chokunu non-stop. Look at the economy for this guy right now. It is off the chain. He is just pumping these units out non-stop. You can see the Imperial Academy. His base building definitely needs a little bit of work. He's just all over the place. Doesn't really have any method to it, any methodology to it, but he's starting to look good. I'm liking the numbers that he's got out here. It is looking exciting. And look at the stables now coming out for Happy Cat as well. What composition does he look to go? He's just running full horseman, and I think this is probably the right play. A lot of people would be looking at like, oh, okay, well the Rus have got access to the Lancer in the second age. They should make the Lancer, right? Well, not so fast. Lancer, an expensive unit, and when you consider that you're going to be making a 2-for-1, so you can have 2 horsemen for 1 Lancer, what do you choose? Especially when these guys get double damage against the Chokunu, then it makes it a very clear case, in my opinion, for the horsemen to come out. They obviously get shredded, but you got to remember, when you're talking about 59 Chokunu coming out, well, they all get shredded, don't they? Battering Ram's going to continue coming down. We now see Veteran Chokunu up, as well as the +2 upgrade. So this is what we were talking about. Now Neptune going to be reaching the Castle Age as well. Going to be looking to get his Veteran upgrade as well as Balanced Projectile. So he's looking to match up the same thing, trying to take a fight a little bit early here. He's got to be careful. He's got his upgrades on the way. He's got +2 damage coming in. And remember, for the Chokunu, that is effectively a +6 upgrade just because of how much damage these guys do with their bolts. But now we see it getting supervised out. You can see he's got the Imperial Official on that upgrade, and we take a look. He's got another Imperial Official back up here on the Blacksmith. He knows how important it is to get these upgrades in. It's going to go from 4+1 to 4+2, 5+2. There it is. And now coming in, he's got that Veteran upgrades, and he's going to be looking to hold on. Where are the Nest of Bees, though? We don't see any Nest of Bees out as we now head into the cinematic mode. Where is his teammate, the green player? Once again, I'm starting to wonder, but you've pushed in towards this angle before, and you have been destroyed. Don't dare do it again, or you shall face the wrath of Neptune as he looks down upon the the invaders. I guess that's probably the best way to say it. But keep in mind behind this, he's just going to be pumping out units non-stop and just going for mass chokunu. And, you know, I remember watching team games in the early stages of Age of Empires 4. It was not about chokunu at all. It was about longbowmen. It was all about the longbowmen. But now we can see the tables have turned. Players looking to play that Chinese, making sure they've got at least one Chinese player on their team. Is this the future of 2 versus 2? Are we just going to always see a Chinese player? Is it going to be, you know, which civ works out best with China? We're going to start seeing double China play. Like, how do you counter double the amount of chokunu? Maybe... Oh God, Drongo, don't dare suggest such a thing. That would upset the balanced gods. China in 1v1 is already in a terrible spot. Actually, they're not in a terrible spot. They're in a pretty decent spot in 1v1. But any nerfs to the chokunu would definitely hurt them. To be fair, the chokunu probably not used that much in 1v1. Maybe in like the early feudal to mid feudal, that's about it. Maybe, or obviously late feudal as well. But once you get into the castle ages, it's pretty much very rare to see it coming out. But now look at those reinforcements coming through. A whole bunch of villagers. It looks like we're going to have a bit of a tower drop as well as the chokunu look to push up. All of the cavalry have been shredded as you would expect. And now the scholar's going to be moving up. Careful, fellas. I know you guys have got prayer on your side, but you're going to need a bit more than that dealing with the chokunu. These guys are so damn strong, and those reinforcements continue funneling in. Yui Metal's going to be trying to hold on with his ally, but they're going to have to fall back. We can see now that he's going into archers here. He's really struggling. That keep going to be getting up. He's going to be able to use this as leverage. Going to be able to drop the siege workshop behind. He's just instead going to be going for a mill here. I do like that play. It makes a lot of sense. He's going to be able to steal away those resources from his opponent, and indeed, he's going to be able to do a great job with it. But now going to be looking to drop down a battering ram here. Doing a bit of a ram dance. We'll check in with Yui Metal and his ally and see exactly how he's going as he's expanding a lot down towards the south. You can see him going absolutely crazy. Trying to get up some walls as well. I'm not sure exactly what all these walls are about, but he's going to need more than walls to save him right now as Neptune continues pushing down the front door of his enemy's base. At the same time, raids coming in on the other side. You can see that our blue Chinese player is going to be trying his best, but obviously Neptune, he's the kind of guy who just knows what is up. He knows what is up more. chokunu going to be coming in, and Yui Metal surrenders. He says, good game, don't bother, and good game gets called. Ladies and gentlemen, there is the 2v2 on the brand new patch, and I got to say, I am absolutely loving it. We have seen these two players, or these two teams, go up against each other, and it was an incredibly action-packed map. Would you like to see more? Let me know in the comments, and I will catch you guys in the next one.